Hey, it's Ray, Chubby Ray Comics. I love to talk about collected editions. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that's what I talk about. My paperbacks, my omnibuses, that's what I love. And I love Batman. And I know a lot of other people love Batman because on this platform, I see tons of people talking about Batman. They always talk about their favorite all-time Batman books. They do their best Batman books of all time list. I think I've even done one. They always talk about The Long Halloween. Oh, this is one of the greatest Batman books ever, The Long Halloween. And it is. It's one of the greatest comics ever made. They talk about Hush. In my opinion, this is the best. Hush by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. It's amazing. Hush is a fantastic book. They talk about Under the Red Hood, the Judd Winnick book, which is fantastic. People talk about Grant Morrison and Batman and Son and other Morrison books. And of course, there's a ton of omnibuses that people talk about. Ever since the New 52 era, there hasn't been a Batman story that hasn't been turned into a collected edition. But now I want to talk about collected editions that a ton of people are missing. These are collected editions that have come out in the 90s or early 2000s, or even some before that. You've heard of, A Lonely Place of Dying, Death in the Family. But also, I want to talk about Batman the Caped Crusader. There were 6 volumes of this, which were great. Now, some of them are really pricey. They took stories direct from Batman comics and Detective Comics, and they turned them into collected editions. They were great. If you can get your hands on one, get it. This is Greg Rucka's Death and the Maidens. I just got a new copy of this. I'm very excited about Rucka and Jansen, Death and the Maidens. This is a great Batman. And it's a Ra's al Ghul centered story. It's pretty cool. Broken City. This is Brian Azzarello. It's got some great artwork in it. Great story. Here's Officer Down. This is about Jim Gordon getting shot and how it affected Batman and how it affected Gotham. This is in the post-Nightfall era. It's a great book. It's another collected edition that we don't talk about, and we should. Batman Evolution. It's another Ra's al Ghul story, but it's got some great art. It's a great story. It takes place like after No Man's Land. It's from the 90s. If you can get your hands on this paperback, you'll love it. Here's Batman War Games. You guys know War Games, right? You should know it because it's coming out in an omnibus. It's coming out in an omnibus later this year. This is Batman loses Tim Drake to college. So Stephanie Brown is his Robin, and something really bad happens to Stephanie in this. But War Games is great, and you can get the paperbacks now for a good price. War Drums was right before War Games, and this is where Stephanie Brown debuts as Robin. It was in this book. This is when Tim Drake actually goes to college, and Stephanie Brown ends up becoming Robin. Batman Rules of Engagement. This was written by Andy Diggle, and it talks a lot about Batman's gadgets and how he came up with that whole concept. These are all collected editions that came out in like the 90s, early 2000s. Batman collected editions have been going on since Death in the Family in the 80s and A Lonely Place of Dying in the 80s. It seemed that these paperbacks came out, and then the next thing you know, it was 52, which was, 20 years later. There was a lot of stuff in between. So I just want to let you know some of the books you can be looking for. There's a ton of stuff you can get. You Batman fans, expand your minds. Look for some of these cool collected editions. Trust me, you will enjoy them as much as I do and as much as I know everyone who has them does. It's Batman, collected editions. They're the best. Like, follow, comment, all that stuff. I love hearing from you. This is Chubby Ray, and thanks for watching.